여러분들 모이셨는데 아무튼 자료 하는 도중.
While the presentation is being set up, I would like to thank KEA IPAC. I understand the head of the center is here. I would like to thank him, and I would also like to thank Mr. Jarvis and Mr. Sonu for joining us today. As you may have heard, we also have Honorable Judge Essex with us today, and I would like to use this opportunity to thank, because we are very busy. It's quite difficult for me to get out of the company space and meet with people from the same industry. So I'm very much enjoying this opportunity to meet with the people in the same industry. And today I would like to talk about ITC. And I'm sure that many of you have some experience with ITC, but I would like to give you some basics related to ITC, as well as Samsung Electronics experience with ITC. I'll try to finish within the given time. And these are what I would like to talk about today. ITC stands for International Trade Commission, and Judge Essex is working for ITC. I'm sure that many of you may have heard about ITC. And when you hear about ITC on newspapers, it's mainly here in Korea related to litigation and Samsung Electronics and other large electronic companies in Korea. It's an organization that deals with unfair trade or imbalance in trade. So it has a comprehensive jurisdiction related to unfair trade. ITC deals with not just with trials, but also related to anti-dumping. So it has an investigation right to investigate issues that are related to trade, such as anti-dumping. Recently, ITC has been investigating the impact of Chinese industries' activities on the U.S. industries. So it's a governmental organization with a very extensive jurisdiction. It's not a judiciary organization, as you might have, as you have been introduced. It's an administrative organization, and this is a legal basis. ITC deals with the countervailing duty, anti-dumping, and about the IPR infringement, and also deals with the general investigation related trade and tariff, and also with deals with the market barriers such as Super 301. So it's a very comprehensive organization with a very comprehensive jurisdiction. And as for the legal authority of ITC, and related to litigation, in relation to disputes, what sort of legal authority does ITC have? First, it has what's called an exclusion order. The U.S. Customs Office will receive order from ITC to stop a customs clearance of certain products. And there's something called cease and desist order for a product that has been determined to have violated patents. They will be not there will not be any customs clearance for these products, but also for the products that are currently being maintained at a storage facility. ITC is like a court, but it's not like the general court that you know. There's no money damage that can be provided here. Import or importation prohibition is a very strong authority, but there's no authority to impose a money damage. That was just for your reference. And this is the litigation procedure at ITC. As you can see here, it's a very compressed procedure. And the reason I'm saying this is that in terms of timeline, it's quite short. The law says that all the litigation procedure has to be completed within 12 to 18 months, whether this is patent infringement or first, the decision has to be made whether there's been an infringement or not within 12 to 18 months. This is very important because the federal court, such as the one in Texas or in California, it takes longer. Do you know how much it takes since the filing till the decision is made? It takes more than 2 years, even sometimes even more than 3 years. But at ITC, it takes between 12 to 18 months. So in terms of time, it's quite time-saving, but at the same time,
그 상대방한테
it could be quite burdensome because there will be costs related to administration and as the costs for the legal representatives.
그래서 이거는 다시 일반적인
As this is a comparison between ITC and the federal courts, the ones, for instance, the ones in California, Pennsylvania, and Texas. This is a comparison between the ITC investigations and the litigation at the federal district courts. At ITC, they don't call it litigation. Actually, the actual term is investigation. It deals with the patent infringement, and also they would look at whether the impacted industry is the U.S. industry and whether the public good has been violated. And at ITC, they can only stop the importation, which is a very strong authority. However, the federal court has can stop the importation as well as impose money damages. And at ITC, there are about 6 ALJs, but at the federal court there are judges and the jury. And at ITC, the investigations have to be completed between 12 to 18 months, while it takes approximately 30 months on average at the federal district courts. I will speak more quickly now. So I will now talk about the ITC investigation trend. Let's look at the investigation trends at ITC. The number of cases has been increasing. ITC's resources, such as ALJ, has not changed. So I guess there is a need to increase resources at ITC given the increasing number of cases. I said that ITC has a very broad authority, but about 90% of the investigations have to do with patents. And of that, like there could be different industries such as electronics, bio. The investigations related to electric and electronic sectors account for 65%. I was at the ITC court. There was an investigation related to automotives, but nowadays I guess there are more investigations related to other industries besides electronics. The international companies, that is the companies from countries such as Korea, China, and Japan, are increasing their participation or their usage of ITC far more than they used to in the past. And also non-practicing entities. They are something called patent trolls. TRAWL. They are a patent specializing company. They don't have any manufacturing facilities. Of course, they don't also have sales activities. They only have patents. And many of these MPEs are participating at ITC. I think that's one of the reasons that the load at ITC has been increasing.
저희 삼성전자 특허를 전체적으로 퍼센티지를 보여드립니다.
And this is for Samsung Electronics until 2009. Here it says no litigation.
클레임이라는 것은 상대방이 주장하는 거니까 서로 얘기하는 것이 있겠죠. 저쪽은
So on the left-hand side, if you look at disputes, about 27% of them go to the district courts, and about 6% goes to ITC. But that number has been on an upward trend. As was mentioned before, most of the investigations are concluded within 12 months, so a prompt response is very important. I mean, there are fast tracks and there are slow tracks, but everything has to be finished within 18 months. And in most cases, the cases are completed within 12 months. So the initial determination is given within 12 months. This means that the time is very compressed. And as you know, litigation is not free. A lot of costs incur. And because the things are moving so quickly, the budget density is very high. Even it's the same 10 million cost or the 20 million cost, whether we spend it over 2 years or 3 years, or we spend it 1 year, and that's very different. In the United States, there's something called discovery, and there are many requirements for a submission of documents. This is something mandatory, and there's not much time allowed to submit the documents. All the documents have to be submitted within required time, so this is one area that a lot of Korean companies experience difficulties. And this is just for your reference. If you go to www.usitc.gov, you will be able to find this information. The filing application or the evidences was provided by the complainant are made available on the website. And about the notice, this says that if you're really concerned about a potential dispute, continue to monitor the IT dockets. Mr. Jarvis and Mr. Sunwoo